Don't know if, yeah. It's 5:30 by our watch.
Yes, live has started. We have just received.
You already started?
Yes, just in a moment. Yeah, we started it.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, it is live. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
I'll go, sir.
Okay. Hello and welcome everyone to our live session number 2. So here we are going to focus on clearing your questions, doubts, anything you may have regarding what you have seen so far in the course. I appreciate you also joining on Zoom call, the Zoom call that we have, or if you're on YouTube, watching on YouTube live, then you can use the chat there to ask your questions or reactions, anything that you want us to clear your doubts on. Okay, so with me I have Siddharth and Professor Dimitri, who will also help us in clearing your doubts, your questions, anything that you want to clarify in this course. I wanted to tell you that we have one more live session next week. In case you missed this one, we have a live session next week, same time on Monday, and also one just before your exam. In case some of you are planning to take the exam, giving you tips and tricks, not tips and tricks, more like it'll help you with the exams, what to expect, and what have we based our questions on, what will you be tested on, all that in the last live session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forum or in the form that was circulated, we can take it up here. Say hello, Dimitri and Siddharth.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad to participate in this live session, second live session of our course about strategic technology forecasting. And it seems to me that all people are so occupied about operational decision, they have no time to take strategic decision. We have not so many students who join us in Zoom. And I can see that in YouTube, we have just a few people who are joining us. And when I checked the form dedicated for your questions, I didn't find so many questions for today. And I'm just looking for this situation, just, some interesting trend we have within our course. Either it is everything so clear in the course that I hardly believe that you have no questions. Either it is so complicated that students, they start to give up with the course and we need to redesign our course. By the way, I like just to try to make it a bit hard, the topic, and just to share my recent experience about failure with a strategic decision, just to show how it is connected to our reality, what we are talking about. For instance, if we are talking about information technologies, today we have a lot of buzz and a lot of noise about technologies like blockchain or ChatGPT and so on. Everybody excited. And the question is, how they're useful? How they're useful, so what? Do they really help to us to deal with reality, with real issues? For instance, yesterday night we had a very heavy earthquake in Turkey and in the region. A lot of people in a very heavy situation now. Some buildings were collapsed, and this is some real issue to deal with. What's wrong? Why do we have so many problems, so many difficulties? And if you look to another part of the world where we have regularly a very heavy earthquake, like in Chile, usually the fatality rate and the rate of losses is much lower. How is it? In fact, when I tried to understand the situation, which regularly happened with earthquakes, what I realized, very interesting, that in Chile, they already took legislation that prohibit construction company to build buildings which are not sustainable and which are not resilient for situation of earthquake. So, and when company, they don't follow these regulations, they are punished very, very heavily. The state just closed such companies and put their management and their general directors into the prison. So when we have earthquake, we can have two situations. One is very painful situation, and another one, the same heavy earthquake produced not so painful situation. Why so? Because a strategic decision was taken. It cost. But when it is based on the reliable forecast, these pay a lot. Today, unfortunately, very unfortunately, we have what we have, and we need to solve this problem altogether, because I'm sure that international help will arrive as it is necessary, and situation will be fixed. But this is once again example about do we need to forecast in the long term? Do we need to improve quality of our strategic decision, or let's keep it like it is? Yeah, this was kind of introduction to today's session that I'd like to share with you. And what we suggest in body of our course, we suggest something that can help to improve this quality of decision, and it is not something like crystal ball, or not something which is based on expert opinion, which was proven by recent publication. Okay, recent, 2 years ago, the book of Mr. Tetlock was published, Super Forecasters, where he showed very interesting findings that experts, they predict less accurately than non-experts, but which follow the very strict way to prepare their forecast. Yeah, I do recommend this book. If you've never seen this, the Super Forecasters, this is book which report rigorously done scientific study about how to improve quality of forecast. Even it is not strategic forecast, it's more kind of tactic forecast, several months in advance to answer the question like, will there be invasion of one country to another one or other? By the way, I don't want to make a teaser for this book. I just recommend you, if you're interested about forecasting, have a look through this. Super Forecasters. This is very interesting study, which is reported as a book. So,
just forecast, but also have to dabble in time, mindful about the fact that forecasts are not important, but what you do today, the decisions that you make today is important. So I've come across the word futurists as I don't know if that's a profession, but I've heard of this term referring to people who do this.
Yeah, the forecasting by itself is not interesting. Well, I absolutely agree with you. This is a means to improve the quality of decision making, and how to improve the quality of strategic decision making. Like my example with the buildings, if on the level of state we require, and this is a law, that you are not allowed to build buildings which are not resilient to earthquake. So you have no difficulties, so high level of difficulties like we can witness regularly. This is just the same we have in our domain with information technology is the same. Fortunately, legislation comes even a bit later than we suppose, but they comes, and we become more protected, less vulnerable. Yeah, but not all around the world in the same time. But whatever technology we take, we need to be capable to see their trajectories in order not to be in order not to stay in the mode of troubleshooters, because troubleshooters, this is something that today on the demand, but unfortunately not all problems can be solved this way.
Got it. So, Siddharth, do we take that question, that solitary question in the discussion forum?
Yes, yes. What I'll do is I'll share my screen and put it on our presentation so that our viewers can also see the question, and I'll
Super.
read it out to you guys. So, yeah. And hi guys, nice to have you in our second live session. And please feel free to ask your questions either in the YouTube chat or in the Zoom chat. Yeah, here's the question. So we ask questions to find answers, but in this model, to find the exact answers, one should already know them. So why even try to do all this activity like the example you took in this video? An ultrasonic wave watching machine that is handled, which is a handheld device. One processor guiding another professor, sorry, one professor guiding another professor to find the answers. But how will it be helpful if no one is there to help you find the solution?
Okay, so I'll go first, Dimitri, and then you can take a stab at this one. So this one, I swear, I did not know Dimitri had this as a puzzle at all. So I had no prior knowledge of what Dimitri had in his mind when we were recording this video. And I did not know what the device was. I had never come across that device before Dimitri held it out on the video for me. So this is all I can say. So I was taking the role of not a professor in that case, but as a guy who doesn't know what it is. And I was trying to guess what it could be. So we were trying to demonstrate the fact that guesswork without knowing the boundary conditions or trying to what we call search area optimization, search area minimization is something that we were trying to see that helps you guide yourselves or whoever it is towards the right answer. You don't need another person. But the philosophy behind that was that the more constraints, the more clues you have, the easier it is to reduce the area of where you're looking for solutions. So that was the intention. And I had no knowledge of what it was before. It was not a demo that I was pretending that I didn't know the answer, but it was truly I didn't know the answer. And so this was our attempt to show you that you can do this yourself. And we have played this as kids. This game is a kids game where I think of a number and you try to guess where the number is, or you think of an object in a room and try to zero in on what that object could be, right? So it was merely to highlight that philosophy. Over to you, Professor Dimitri. So what is your reaction to this question?
Yeah, in fact, the video that you watched, in fact, it was a kind of exercise in order to help to understand how do we reduce search area, okay? Because within a forecasting or within a problem solving, we need to reduce search area in order to be reliable, in order to be practical. But it is a skill that has to be learned. And within my courses, when I have time with students and when we interact them in live, not like in the MOOC, what we are doing, we're making several exercises like that. This is yes-no approach. And this yes-no approach, yes, it can be used with kids, but it's very serious stuff. The yes-no training allow very adult and very experienced people to learn how to reduce search area, how to ask strong questions. Okay, it doesn't matter, do you have somebody who knows the answer or not? If you reduce search area step by step, your answer, what will be the next in the future, in a technology, or your answer for the problem situation will be enveloped in this search area. In order to learn this, because Professor Bala, he asked me, okay, could you give me an example? I gave him example, and we found that this video can be useful also for the course. Because, and this is I do like this question because it helps us to undermine the essential difference between approach that we suggest and other approaches which exist for forecasting. Instead of other approaches that are looking for as many alternatives as possible, we try to reduce search area systematically, gradually, based on existing knowledge, okay, in order to predict reliably the future. This is a kind of not so popular approach. And in order to limit our search area in a situation when we are dealing, for instance, with information system or with a transportation system or with energy system, what we are doing, we try to collect the problems, the contradictions which exist. This is in a full-scale version of technology forecasting using research in future. We use both. We use logistic curve and knowledge about problems. In both of this introductory course, we just give you kind of, flavor how the question of forecasting can be approached. So, just to make long things short, even you don't know the answer, even there is nobody around of you who knows the answer. If you know how to reduce search area, if you are capable to ask strong questions, this strategy is much more successful than other strategies, just by collecting information. Yeah. This is what I try to add when answering this comment. This is comment and question. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Yes, Balaji.
So is there anything else that is out there? This one from the discussion forum, but not any questions in the Google form either, right? So, okay. Okay, so I guess this is going to be a short session then. I didn't check the YouTube chat, nothing there. I just noted the name of the book that Professor Dimitri mentioned in the chat so that people will have an idea what this book is. And as with Professor Dimitri's disclaimer, we are not here to promote the book or we are not in any way affiliates of the book, but it's a good book that we came across, so we wanted to sort of mention the name of that book.
This is just a reference which we believe will be useful for curious people to look through. If you are talking about other books that can be useful, for instance, to learn about logistic substitution model, I would like to just share my screen for a couple of minutes.
Please.
And show this one. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah. In fact, why those books are quite unique, because in fact the author of this book, he used intensively logistic S-curve model and logistic substitution models, and he published methodology and he published result. And the first book he published years ago, 1992. But what he is doing, and this I didn't see as a practice of other authors, every 10 years he made update in order to check the predictions that he made in previous book with logistic S-curve and to validate them, was it reality or not, or if there are some deviation, he tried to analyze why deviation appear. And this author, he comes from the hard science, from physics, So he is doing this analysis, rigorously and scientifically. The third edition, in fact, the revision of what was suggested in previous two editions, and he even published the fourth one. This is unique because you can see what does work and what doesn't work, and you can see some ideas on real examples. There are dozens of examples of forecast about different technologies in those books, and some of these forecasts are still interesting to learn because they look much more far in the future than we are to 2023. So once again, it is not promotion of this book, it's not advertising, it's just something that I found for myself to be very useful for practice, and I believe it will be useful also for you for practice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing those books, Dimitri. Yeah, those are pretty insightful ones. I believe we've used Professor Modis's 4 seasons model, one of my favorites in the course. It helps us really understand how to use that to figure out where in the evolutionary cycle is this particular technology or product or whatever it is. So you can figure this out. In fact, in my earlier conversation with Professor Dimitri, we even tried to apply it on your own career in where you could be. Are you in early spring? Are you in summer? Are you in late autumn? Where are you? So what should that activities be? What should your kind of thinking be? It was very, very interesting. I found that very insightful as an application to your own career.
Yeah. In the last version, which was published in 2013, he suggests even step-by-step procedure how to build your own software to fit logistic S-curve in an Excel. Okay, you took an Excel, you add the model solver, and you can fit your logistic curve as you like. I found it's interesting from both perspectives. You start to understand better how fitting is working, and you have something that you do not depend any other suppliers of software. Even we have several packages available in every statistics software package we have, and we have in the internet also the resources. But to have your own one in Excel is quite handful.
Okay.
That would be it from.
If you have no questions, we can close our today's session. What do you think about it?
Why not? Yeah. This will be a short video. I'm going to refer to this video for the gentleman's question or lady's question in the conversation in our discussion forum.
Yes.
Okay. So Siddharth, do you have any parting words for our learners? No. Okay.
All good.
Words of wisdom.
Now that there are not too many questions, I hope they get into the course content again, probably come up with more questions, and
Right.
more people join us in our subsequent live sessions to make it more interactive.
Yes. And
usually
like
questions
sorry.
Yeah, usually questions appear when they start to prepare exams.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably in next 2 weeks we should be seeing some questions. Now that course is also probably coming to an
Where we
end.
will be overloaded,
All over.
And like last time, I want to reiterate that we are definitely going to have a workshop followed by this course. I am excited about it because we get to interact with you live, and also you get to apply this method and learn about the nuances and the intricacies of the methodology itself, and that's very exciting. I personally find it very exciting to apply it and on real cases. So hopefully you'll share my excitement, and we'll see you in that workshop as well.
Yeah. Yes, with that, I think we can end our session as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining the session and sharing your feedback or questions in the discussion forum. Please feel free to fill the discussion forum with more questions so that we can have a complete 1 hour session next time. With that, thank
Yeah.
you and bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, Professor Dimitri.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.